one short, but Iris, I almost forgot her stage name for a second there. Iris will be back soon. But we have our other 3 players, plus Luke in my lap. So we are still in a five player game right now, because Luke is here to take Iris's place. Right, baby? Alright, so say hi to everyone. This time our 2 other faceless friends actually have faces today. So in our top left corner, we have DM Tal.
Hello.
And then beside him, we have... Whoop, that's not... it's flipped. Beside him, we have Justin.
Yo.
And then beside me, we have Cyclops, or Cy.
Greetings.
But of course, that's not going to be what we're called today, but we will introduce our characters when it is relevant.
I should have got this information previously. I did not.
I did. I just thought I had another week, so I didn't make the banners yet. I do have, I have a work in progress frame for us with banners with our characters' names. I just didn't finish because we weren't going to play today, but L5R got cancelled, so now we are.
Yeah.
Because, damn it, I want to roleplay. And Tal wants to roleplay. So if we can't help, right? So if we can't L5R, we're gonna Pathfinder.
Damn right.
Let me know, you guys, if you can hear my fan or if my fan is loud in the microphone. It is heckin' hot out today, so I've got my fan turned on.
Spicy. Very spicy.
Especially, I don't know how sensitive to heat little Luke is. I can't imagine he does very well with it, given that he's this big and also a very old man, so...
I think my front door is an OSHA violation right now.
Fair enough.
It is all metal, and I swear if you touch it for long enough, you get 3rd-degree burn.
Oh, that was, my partners and I... You went to our apartment a couple times.
Yeah.
Our main door was a big, thick metal door, like a zombie apocalypse door. Which was great until the day it froze shut and we couldn't get out of the house, because it's Northern Ontario here, and it got real cold, so we were like, guess we're stuck in here.
Yep.
So metal doors aren't great around here for either the hot or the cold.
Lucky mine's just a screen, but I still had to be between it and the wooden door. Alright. So. I did a little bit of world building last time, but to reiterate, this is a basically a fortified country with 10 walls surrounding in large rings, surrounding the main cities and agriculture and basically everything about it. Outside the walls is a form of apocalyptic event that will basically make short work of anybody stupid enough or brave enough, or both, to go outside the walls. Not saying that these players won't eventually go out there, but for now, this is what they know.
Potential is there.
My first action, I would like to go outside the walls.
Okay.
Just kidding, I like this character. I'm really excited about them.
I'm strong enough. I'll throw you over the wall. No problem.
You probably could. I'm pretty small.
These walls are magically warded. This is new information. These walls are magically warded. Every 10 years, a sacrifice has to be made of a spellcaster to keep the enchantment on the walls going. Keep whatever it is out. This year has been 10, 11. It's been a while. People aren't really sure anymore. But they're sure it's due. They're just not sure when. The sacrifice for this 10th wall has been made in some time. But every 10 years, they have the wall party. This year taking place on a lake bordering the wall, in a pub called the Wobbly Goblin Pub, run by 2 goblins who are apparently legendary warriors. They have a strict no shenanigans rule. You can party, you can get a little rowdy, but you start pulling shenanigans in their pub, they will toss you the fuck out. This party is so big that a lot of people from walls further in will come out to the 10th wall just for this party. The fireworks are apparently legendary. We'll start out with our characters arriving in a random order. I would like everyone to roll a d6.
A 4.
A 6.
A 6. So our warrior.
Sorry. Before we begin,
Sure.
just because 2 of these players I've never played with before. I'm going to, because it just popped into my head, because I was doing my number here. I'm going to let you guys know, and actually the chat know as well. I will try and remember to say out loud, especially for a while until we get used to it. But I have a policy, and Tal's aware of this, that I try 9 times out of 10 I remember to do this if I'm speaking out of character. So if I'm not doing this, I'm hopefully remembering that I'm speaking in character. We call it unicorning. So I will, if you see me doing this, I've not just taken leave of my senses. I'm unicorning, and that means I'm speaking out of character, and it just clicked with me that I've never played with you 2, so you won't know what I'm doing and why.
No, I've seen it before.
Understood.
Not my first rodeo. Appreciate the heads up, though.
Yeah, but I know different groups, a lot of groups have some sign, but like, it may or may not be the same thing, right? So.
Yeah.
Alright, so I rolled a 1. So Cyclops, describe your character and enter him to the scene.
Okay. Rough and tumbly dwarf. Doesn't seem to have any type of weapons on him at all. He's got, looks like braces on his hands. He's wearing a leather-bound vest over a pretty shiny shirt underneath it. One of his eyes is covered. You don't know whether he's actually blind, but he does have an eye patch over one eye. Little or no hair. It seems to be preferred to stave off heat and lice, that he's shaved almost bald. And no beard, believe it or not. I believe we established last time that some of you guys may have met him in the past. That he is a street fighter of sorts. So a couple of burn marks on his arms, nothing extraordinary, but he looks like he's been around the streets quite a bit.
You approach the pub, and when you enter, there is a familiar, very large goblin standing at the door. He is kind of leaning, half watching around on a dragon's tooth. He greets you, and he gives you a look for a moment, and then he asks in his oddly shrill voice, "Are you working for anybody?"
Nope, can't say that I am.
Good. In you go.
Thank you. I'll go in quietly, just kind of shuffling the door and get a lay out of place before I step further in, up to the bar and ask for an ale.
All right. There's a smaller goblin at the bar. He is wearing a kind of a shiny, almost reddish shirt and little khaki jeans. He's wearing a vest, which seems like it's a bit puffy, but you can hear things jingling inside. When you ask him for an ale, he will turn around, hop down, stroll over to a big barrel, and put a rather large mug underneath for his size, and fill it up. He'll hop back over to you, and he'll put it down on the table, and he'll say, "Today, it's 1 gold, all you can drink."
Fair enough. You're gonna lose on that one. Put down a gold.
He'll take it, and he'll pass you the pint.
So, is it swivel chairs? Are they like stools so I can just spin around and watch the room while I drink?
Yep, they spin.
That's what I'll do then.
Okay. Around the room, there are a bunch of different types of people. You can tell from basically there are some working class, there's a few fishermen kicking around, everything from froglings to dark elves, drow and the like. And there's even a few people that you don't expect to see here, some humans and some high elves that look a little bit too fancy and are very, very mindful of their coin purses.
I see. Anybody I might have worked for in the past, or nobody I recognize?
Roll a perception.
I've got see my character. Perception would be a 15.
15. Trying not to stand out too much in one of the side tables is one of the merchants that you definitely worked with before. He is a rather smallish half-orc, but you know him as one of the local fishmongers. He does pretty well for himself, as he knows where to go and who to pay to get. And he does dealings in some of the middle rings, so he's hired you to keep him safe once or twice while he ventured further above his, pay grade.
Gotcha.
But not long after, Zephy, you enter the scene. Describe your character and enter the bar.
Just want to make sure I hadn't muted myself. I am So approaching the bar is a fairly lean but tall, humanoid, kind of grayish blue skin, and a big mess of wild blue tangly hair. And there's feathers braided in the hair. And a big feather cloak. She walks on, like, the balls of her feet. She's very, like, springy. And even as she's walking, she seems to be getting distracted by stuff. And then continuing to, like, watch where she's going, and then getting distracted by stuff, and then watching where she's going. She has a holy symbol, of a golden seabird. And, her clothes look damp, like she was just swimming and hadn't bothered changing.
When you enter, the large goblin will just nod to you. And we'll just let you pass.
She smiles at him really big with, like, pointed teeth.
He smiles back. His teeth are not great. He clearly has been eating random odds and ends and hasn't bothered to clean his teeth today.
So, she bounds over to the barkeep goblin. And I actually haven't, I was gonna look up a good, like, sea drink. But I actually hadn't finished looking it up yet.
Okay.
So maybe even just an ale, some capacity of a sailing drink. Or a drink, like a salty drink. One or the other. I haven't decided which.
Okay. He is happy to oblige. He says, "Today, 1 gold, all you can drink. Don't cause any trouble." And he'll hop down, and he'll start.
You said this bar
together.
is close to the lake, right? One of the really big lakes?
This pub is on the lake.
Okay, so then I'm probably a regular here. Do I know this goblin's name?
This goblin's name is Speet.
I thought it might be.
It would be Speed, of course.
And
I thought it might be Speed.
The bouncer is Slarg the Behemoth.
Slarg and Speed. Okay, well, actually, I should write that down.
Because I always throw
not that I'm not
characters into things, because it's fun.
Yep. Thank you, Speed. It's gonna be a lot more crowded in here than usual.
Always is. They're all here to see my fireworks.
Hopefully everyone makes it out with all their limbs this time.
Some years.
Well, I'll take my drink and let him get back to work, because he's probably heckin' busy today.
Yep. It's starting to pick up. It's not long before both of you notice a gnome walk in. Justin, describe your character and enter the scene.
I'm a halfling.
Oh,
I was gonna say, who's this gnome?
How do you want to know? Who's
suspicious.
the gnome? We got being added.
Sorry, I forgot.
All right.
I misremembered.
I'm a halfling. I'm wearing standard artisan gear. I'm young. Not even middle-aged yet for a halfling. I come up to the door. What's Slarg?
He looks at you and he ponders for a moment. Don't cause any trouble.
No, it would never cross my mind.
Point you in.
I look around, check out the scene. Do I recognize anyone?
There are a few people you recognize. There's a dwarf at the bar, and I believe you do know the other one here.
Oh,
other adventurer.
Dwarf. He's a street fighter. I've been to many of his matches.
Yes.
So I'm going to head to the bar, hop up on a stool. I'm going to reach into my backpack and I'm going to pull out my very own tankard. I'm going to bang it on the thing and ask for an ale.
The small goblin will bounce his way over to you, and he'll look at it, and he'll go, 1 gold? All you can drink whole night.
Sounds like a plan.
He'll grab it, he'll hop down, he'll fill it from the big barrel, and hop back up and put it down in front of you.
I'll take my beer, thanks, take a sip, and I'm going to head on down to the end of the bar near the dwarf.
Hey there.
Hey, long time no see.
It could be longer.
Planning on any fights the near future?
I hope so. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, I certainly hope so too. I usually do pretty well when you're fighting.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
The bouncer's giving a sideways look over in your direction.
I take a drink.
Send me your boots. I'm not fighting nobody tonight. Unless you pay me well enough.
I keep drinking.
Take a mean sip of my mug. Eyeballing the bouncer.
The bouncer's very big for a goblin. He actually stands at medium size.
So he'd be what, about my height?
No, bigger than you.
Really?
He's as tall as a human.
Oh my goodness.
So he's taller than I am.
He's taller than both of you, yeah.
Are you both halflings?
One's a dwarf, one's a halfling.
Oh, dwarf. Sorry, I'm making notes.
I'm about 4.5 feet tall.
I believe my height is 3'4".
So you guys are around the size of the goblin, the barkeep goblin. He's around the 3-foot mark.
I'm just over that.
The bar is situated in a way that it starts high and then kind of, tapers down so that it's more inclusive. Also, there's about 3 doors within the main door.
Small, medium, and large.
Yeah. A group of people walk in. One of them is a very large orc. They come in. The bouncer there talks to the orc, and the orc kind of gives him one of these, like, and he lets him in. They take a table, and they're speaking orc, or like the orc goblin language. So if any of you understand that, let me know.
Nope.
Hold on. I don't remember.
Okay. The crowd in here starts to build. A bunch of different people from all manners of things. The barkeep has to throw the first person out about 2 hours in. Somebody tries picking a pocket of one of the high elves and gets a dragon tooth to the head and gets promptly tossed in the lake.
Works for me.
The pub has basically an open concept to the back of the lake, so you can watch him flounder as he can't swim. He's kind of hanging off the dock. Eventually, he will grab hold of the dock and make his way down until he's out of sight, and you don't see him for the rest of the night.
Can't swim? Sucks to be you.
He don't care. He's bouncing you out the wall.
Watch where you put your fingers, little one. Talking to you, Ron.
I am. I was just.
I don't remember your character's name. I apologize.
It's okay. So I also speak Goblin. So how much of it did I catch of his conversation?
Okay, so their conversation, because they're pretty loud at the start. They are pretty disgruntled, what you believe to be masons. They are talking about how they're doing work for the inner rings and they're getting paid squat. These people can afford so much, but not actually paying them what their craft is worth. But they can't refuse the work. They need their name, and they like being able to go, into the center rings without being hassled too much. And getting work is one of the ways to do it.
Okay.
But they're pretty angry, and they're almost not subtle about how they kind of want to stage coup.
Ooh.
They kind of want to cause a major ruckus in the middle rings, really disrupt the higher ups.
All right. So I go ahead.
The two barkeeps are keeping an eye on them, both the bar bouncer and the doorman. They're keeping an eye on them. They're like, don't think they're going to cause trouble here, but maybe.
Okay, I look over at the dwarf and I say, thanks for the advice about the fingers. I was actually planning on going a little shopping. I think after seeing what I just saw, I'll let it slide for a while. I'll order another beer. Bang out my tankard.
Wise choice, unless you can swim.
I can swim, but I still don't want to chance it.
The barkeep will hop over, grab your ale, grab your mug, fill it up, hand it back.
Thank you.
So what was that all about?
Well, seems they want to start a mess of trouble in the inner rings. Sounds like it might be a worthwhile venture if we can kind of get in on something like that.
Why are they causing trouble? What seems to be their issue?
They're working on the inner circle. They're masons. Apparently, they don't feel they're being paid enough for the work that they're doing, and want to cause a little bit of a problem to make up for it.
Well, it seemed to me they should have negotiated better.
I don't think negotiating the strong point of an orc.
You haven't met the strong point of an orc then, have you?
Well, I've met orcs, but I've never had any serious dealings with them.
What do you make of the wee lass? It's all wet.
All right, real quick.
Yep.
Excuse me, Tal, really quick. You said they were speaking Goblin? I just finally found my languages. Okay, so I did understand as well.
Okay.
I couldn't find my languages everywhere. I'm like, oh, here they are.
They're not being subtle. They're speaking in a language to avoid most thing, but they're not being quiet.
But they could avoid speaking in the language that the guys are running the bar if they wanted to.
Exactly.
You get the feeling that the orc doesn't even really know common.
Yeah.
Actually, from now on, I'm gonna have you guys let me know when you're speaking anything but common.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Because I'm gonna assume that you guys are speaking common unless otherwise, because that's what everyone understands. But if you want to say something secretive or more secretive, let me know what language you're speaking in.
Yeah.
Understood.
I know Common, Dwarven, and Punch things. Those are the three language I know.
Dwarven, common, and violence.
I've got Common, Elven, Goblin, and Halfling.
I have Common, Sylvan, Aquan, and Goblin.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So what do I make of the little thing on the bars? She's nice, but a little too tall for me.
Kicking my feet.
Well,
And I'm kicking my feet like a little kid, but I'm downing an alcoholic beverage.
Well, I may be like a rough and tumble type of guy. I still care about the little person, the little guys, you know. So I keep track of the halflings about the room that can easily get stomped on by an orc, or the young lass down the bar who could easily get trampled underfoot. I kind of make note of where everybody is in case I need to pull somebody out.
Everyone rolls streetwise as a character strolls in late.
That's not a thing. Is it?
Oh, there's no streetwise here?
There's knowledge local.
Knowledge local. There you go.
Okay. But wait,
Too
I
many
have
systems.
Streetwise. I know Streetwise. That is actually pretty well. Knowledge local is a 23.
dumb. 15. It's pretty decent.
21.
Okay. You all recognize this man. He is a drow, but he is notorious as a straight-up assassin, murderer. He is a gang thug, and is basically notable by his two rather overlarge barrel pistols that he has holstered to his belt, and the kind of odd mask that he wears. He strolls in, and the bouncer kind of gives him a look, and they talk back and forth. You speak Drow, or language of the Underrings. Okay.
Underdark is what it is.
Underdark. Okay. So they talk for a moment. It looks like the bouncer there might give him a big old smack and throw him out. But then they talk a bit more, and he enters the room. He strolls over to the bar.
I would like to... Wait, do I have that spell? Wait, I have to see if I'm dumb. I don't think Detect Magic would... Never mind, that wouldn't tell me if he cast a spell. Because I would have had to... Never mind, that just tells me what he's wearing. I just wanted to know if he cast like a charm or something, but I did it too late.
Okay.
Alonzi.
He walks over to the barkeep. Again, they kind of talk back and forth. And the barkeep ends up going down over to his little concoction table or his mixing bench and throws together this stuff. It smells bitter, gives a little bit of a pungent aroma, but you can tell it's strong alcohol. Goes over, puts it on the table, takes the gold from the guy, and kind of leaves him alone. He kind of looks for a moment at this clearly almost what he would call a monk, openly displaying religious symbols. He kind of sits down and kind of has a side eye.
I'm looking right back at him. I'll smile.
He'll smile back. His teeth are immaculate. All in all,
he's
a very well taken care of individual. His white hair is straight, clean. So for a guy with such a dark reputation, takes good care of himself. I
apologize. This is the wall celebration?
The switch?
This is the wall celebration?
Yep.
Is he close to me along the bar, or...?
He's about in the middle of the bar-ish.
Okay.
Because he's not big, so he's not sitting at the opposite end. But he's not small, so he's not sitting near your side either.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, right, because the stools would be, like, height-wise,
so that
you don't have to sit and have your face like this if you're a gnome.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do I know this assassin's name? Or this would-be assassin? This rumored assassin?
He goes by Regis.
Regis or Regis?
Regis. And they call him Regis the Smoke.
Ooh.
He looks at you for a moment. He says something.
Sorry, Regis. I don't speak Underdark.
What language did you use?
Common. I imagine he doesn't speak fish either.
He paused for a moment, and he goes, "You're here for the festivities?"
I'm always here. Oh, he might speak Sylvan. Oh well, I already spoke it out.
Never seen one of you before.
Nor have I.
Are you from outside the wall?
We don't know. We think we might be some kind of a tiefling, but we can't figure out what.
Interesting.
My parents and me, I mean.
You will calculate for a moment. He'll look over at the barkeep. And then he'll take his whatever it is and nod and walk away. He'll go sit over at the table where the orc is.
On which side of the bar is the table? Is it on the short side or the tall side?
It's kind of off, so it is closer to your side than it is to the tall side. But it's tucked away. It's a little ways away. Like it's about 2 tables in.
I'm going to pick up my tankard and I'm going to walk over to the table between them and the bar, and I'm going to sit down.
Okay. There are some people there that have been there for a little bit. They're sloshed. They're happy to see you.
I make my introductions, offer to buy a round.
They'll tell you they've already paid their rounds for the night.
I knew that, but I was trying to make it look like I was being generous.
They appreciate the generosity nonetheless.
So I order them a round of drinks, and I try to sinister myself so I can hear what's going on at the next table.
Okay. They're trying to make a deal with this guy. Apparently there is a nobleman, so not quite part of the royal family, but not as far off as most, that they'd like publicly humiliated and removed.
Are they still speaking in gnome?
They're still speaking in goblin.
In goblin,
Goblin.
Hey, stop moving me.
I'm so glad they're not talking in common.
I'm not being subtle about listening. I'm just like looking at them while they talk. My big old wide blue fish eyes.
The one guy looks up. He is a frogman. He looks up and kind of looks at you with his one eye kind of like over in your direction. He thinks about it for a moment and decides he doesn't care. You kind of get the feeling from listening that they're going to try and actually start something, try to gain a little bit of a following or a little bit of an entourage here at this party. And does anyone speak High Elf or any type of language?
Elves
like that?
speak Sylvan, I think.
Okay.
Let me check what they.
So you speak.
They have Elven and Sylvan. Sylvan is more like Fae, where some people
Okay,
overlap
yeah.
and
No,
Elven
I don't
and
speak
Sylvan.
Elven.
Okay.
I speak. I understand Elven.
Okay. So the over on the other side, basically where the High Elves are sitting, they are just shit talking. They are mocking every little thing about around here, to like how common this bar looks and all the rubbish creatures around, and they're just shit talking the fuck out of it in their language that they suspect nobody here knows.
Wait,
I don't know any of these languages, so I'm just blissfully watching what's going on.
Yeah.
Can
What the
I
heck?
roll a sense motive to feel the room type of thing?
Sure.
How many freaking bonus languages do I have? Oh.
That's 17.
17. Okay. So there are a lot of people that are kind of just in a party mood. So there's a lot that are here strictly for the celebration. And then you get kind of this mixture of unrest, unease, a little bit of like an underlying anger that you think might eventually lead to a bar fight of some sort. And other than that, that's kind of the general gist of it. A lot of people are either really happy or kind of grumpy and upset and are here, to hopefully cheer themselves up or to start something.
Okay. So, Hey, Speed.
What's up?
I'll push my tankard across the bar. Switch me to coffee and get ready for some trouble.
Okay. He'll hop down and he'll brew you up a coffee. Slam it back in front of you.
I think you're gonna have some problems tonight.
Oh, there's problems at every one of these.
Okay. You see me tighten down my knuckle wraps, secure my fist a little bit more.
Just don't break anything.
Make sure those are on tight.
You said anything, not anyone. We're all set.
Do we have... That guy brought his guns in, so we have our weapons in here.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I have a bow. For
Okay.
anybody who took note of my weapons. Which I know darn well the dwarf did, so...
I observed the dwarf at the bar playing with his hands a little bit, and I look to see it. I kind of get the idea of what's going on. So I do my quick double check, make sure all my daggers are where they belong, and I kind of loosen the one on my waist just a little bit so it's not stuck in the scabbard. I go back to drinking.
All right. Couple hours roll by. Another two get tossed out.
I get antsy at some point and jump out the back into the lake and swim around for a while. And at some point I come back in. I just swim in the water.
There are some people that are roaring in hysterics. What you can't understand is that they're like, huh, she bounced herself. They're super amused. And actually roll a d20. Okay.
This is fine.
Well,
this is fine.
While you're swimming about, he actually does have to bounce somebody. So while you're swimming there, he tosses in a like a. This is the thing about so many races. He throws in a gnome.
Does it look like this gnome can swim?
No, well, kind of doggy paddling.
I'll swim up to them and like, do you need help?
That'd be great.
I'll swim them to the shore. I am an exceptionally strong swimmer.
Okay.
So I make it to the shore and back just
this
no
gnome
problem.
reeks of booze, and it makes sense considering he just tried to pick a fight with a marsh elf.
And then I'll come back into the bar, so now I'm like sopping wet walking around the bar.
The barkeep goblin yells, "Last call!"
Oh heck yeah, I get more.
There are a lot of people who go like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool.
I toss on the last call and I just pour what's left in my tankard on the floor and put my tankard in my backpack.
The people that have been getting increasingly drunk with you kind of go like, "Oh, you wasted booze."
It was only a little
I
bit.
make sure I get a shot to take quick, and then another big drink to like drink from.
Okay.
I switched to coffee a while ago.
Not me. I'm here for a good time.
The barkeep goblin, after everyone's done their last call, he'll hop down.
I always
and
order
he'll go-
in Goblin to speak.
Okay.
Given that I'm a regular.
Okay. He will bounce over to a rather large boat that he will pull a sheet off of, and you see that it is packed with fireworks.
Woo. My tankard's doesn't have a Coke in it. It has booze in it.
it is when he sets off to go to a little further away down the lake that the orc and his friends make their push. The one he's one of the bog elves. He'll stand up and in common he'll say, "People, everyone gathered here from the lowliest parts of our great city. Do you ever feel like those shits are looking down on you from their high walls in the center?" Notably pointing towards the high elves and the humans that have bothered to come out here.
I'm very thoughtfully, like, considering his question quite seriously. I'm like, no, not really.
There are a few people that are like, yeah.
I haven't, no. We have all the lakes, so...
Okay.
So is the higher, like the center of the city, at a higher point further away from the water? So literally they're looking down on us?
Yes.
Oh, well, in that case, my character is thoughtfully going, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
They do look down at us.
Yes, they actually do look down on us.
They're always looking down. That's so weird.
It's basically built up in the center and then down. So that the middle ring does sit about a good 20 feet higher than the furthest ring.
Okay, yeah, you're right. In that case, I'm very thoughtfully like, they are looking down. They so are. It's so interesting.
Every year I see resources pulled from our wall to better the center rings. There are less guards where it matters than there are on the fifth wall. Now, that sounds like a waste to me. Unless, of course, them dirty higher-ups are just trying to keep us honest people out. Well, I say it's time for us to take some piece of the middle rings.
Spoken like a true honest person.
He ignores you as some of the other drunkards are yelling praises and shit talking. The higher elves and the humans there, they're notably concerned.
Uh-oh.
They're kind of stepping their way towards the bouncer there, who's basically just kind of watching them, making sure they don't actually do anything stupid.
I lean forward and I draw my dagger from my waist under the table and hold it next to my leg.
Okay. We're looking to build a crew, and we're going to carry this out. We're going to take some land that should rightfully be one of ours. Who's with me? A bunch of people will shout and cheer, and he'll do a little bit of a, banging his mug on the table and try and rouse people a little bit more. The one guy looks like he actively wants to get up and fight the higher elves there. But one look at the bouncer and remembering what happens to the rest of them, he sits back down.
So you're asking for help for one of you to get the land, and nobody else is going to get anything except working for you. That's what you're telling me now. That's what you're trying to say.
Oh, no. We're going to share it.
You said for one of us, so which is it?
The collective one. Us.
Sit down before you get your throat punched, son.
The orc will turn his head towards you. And will speak something in orc. Those that can understand, he says, "You better watch what you say to boss."
I don't think Goblin and Orc are the same language, are they?
It is. I'm just not sure which one it's called. I think it's Orc.
No, they have Orc and Goblin. They're two distinct languages.
Two distinct languages.
But I only know Common.
I only know Goblin.
So if he says something to me, your mother.
Well, never mind. I actually don't understand him because I speak Goblin, not Orc.
Okay.
It all depends on what he's speaking, but yeah.
He's speaking Orc.
So he says something to me in Orc?
Yeah.
So I'll look at him. You got something to say to me, say it in Common. Otherwise, you and I are going to have other words. And I'll crack all my knuckles on.
He looks at you confused for a moment, looks at one of his companions. His companion speaks something in Orc. He turns back, and he thinks about it. You can tell he's thinking about it. He's like edging on his seat, thinking about getting up and clobbering you with his club. But he sits back down after the other guy says something to him again. He'll look at you and he'll go like, "We're not looking to get thrown out."
Why don't you just enjoy the fireworks?
They will.
Oh wait.
He'll kind of give you like a kind of inquiring look. He's kind of giving you the once over, and then he'll divert his attention back to the lake.
Wise move, kid.
A few moments later,
lawful good.
A few moments later, the barkeep will kind of pound his club on the ground, and will direct you all to look out over the lake when the fireworks start going off. It is a grand spectacle. It lasts about an hour and a half, well into the middle of the evening. When it concludes, everyone's cheering and shouting, having a good time. Some people are lining back up at the bar. When a rather distraught frogling bursts through the bar doors, and he is frantic, and he's shouting, "They're inside the walls! They're inside the walls!"
Who's now? What's this?
He's shouting in Common?
He's shouting in a slurred Common. His frog-like mouth isn't the greatest, and he's isn't the greatest at articulating Common. But he's also speaking very fast. But the gist of it is, he's basically shouting over and over again, "They're inside the walls."
Frog. I'm just checking what languages they speak. I can't find them. I find Undyne. Yeah, I guess I got them. Well then, I mean, I deal with fishermen mostly. Do I know what frog folks speak? Are they Aquan?
Yeah.
Okay. I will kind of approach him, and I will say in Aquan. Because I don't know what the heck he's yelling about. What's wrong? What's happened?
He will look a little more relieved that he's not trying to shout not his best language. "They're inside the walls. I saw them."
Oh gods. And I will shout in a clearer Common. They've breached the walls. And to him again in Aquan, where?
"I saw them about an hour that way, down the wall."
I'll say whatever direction that was. I'll be like, They breached the walls to the east, or whatever way he's pointing.
The bar kind of goes quiet for a moment as they ponder it. And then the one guy kind of pipes up and goes, "He's way too hammered." And the bar starts to laugh.
Whereabouts?
Which way? Or how many? I'd already asked.
Three of them.
I'll pull my bow, and, is there the way he pointed, is it all dry land?
It is, yes.
Okay, so I can't swim that way, which I'm faster at. Alright, I will take off looking that way.
Okay. Does anyone else run out?
So, it was a drow that stood up was trying to rouse the crowd earlier?
Yeah. No, it was a bog elf.
Bog elf. You. Speak good or I'll hear about it. I'll walk out the door.
He'll kind of cock his head, not entirely sure what you said, but he'll watch you leave.
Okay.
I see the dwarf leave, resheath my dagger, and I get up and follow him out.
The bouncer will walk over to one of the tables. We'll lean over to one of the figures sitting there, and we'll...
Pretty sure we're all gone.
Oh, okay. You guys are walking out when suddenly they're kind of in your order of leaving, and you hear someone else behind you. Not a few people like you might think, but one sole person taking up the rear.
I feel like it's Regis.
Well, since I'm the last in line, I'll turn around to the footsteps and see who's following me.
It is a third goblin that you didn't see there previously, but he has a small drum on his back, and he is following behind.
War drummer, great. Goblin war drums.
He is quite quick for his size, so he's keeping up as you head through the night. How many of you have dark vision?
I do.
Yeah, just dwarves.
Where would it list that?
What are you? You're halfling?
Halflings.
You don't.
You do.
I think you have low life though. Low light. Half. You
low
low
life. Me? You know me well.
Size. I don't see dark vision or low light vision on here. Control F.
So what are you guys going to use for light? Those of you who can't
I have an
see
item.
in dark.
I can see in low light, but I have a whoosh. You seem to have regular vision. It's a halfling. I thought you had low light, but I can't find it on here.
That's what I thought so too. I'm looking at it here. I don't see it. It's not under my special abilities.
You don't have it.
No, you don't.
All right, so you guys are running by the light of a singular stone. The goblin behind you, unfazed, just making his way through. I'll have you guys roll.
In fact, he would prefer I put out my stone.
I will have the two of you roll in acrobatics.
Is it dark or low light right now?
It's dark.
Like it's dark.
It is dark. You're running through a forest at night. In like
it's a forest. I thought we were like running through the city. I was like, where was all the lights?
It's
okay.
like a sparse forest.
No, that's fair. I just misunderstood the situation.
How we're doing acrobatics?
Yep.
Who needs a roll?
Just the ones without dark vision.
Okay, so the goblin and I are good.
Yep.
Oh, geez. I've got a 28.
All right.
25.
Okay. The stone seems to be giving off enough light for you guys to see all the roots and branches underneath your feet, keeping you at a fairly good pace. You're not falling behind. You're managing to keep up.
Keep up. I've got a halfling, a dwarf, and a goblin with me. I'm faster than all of y'all.
Goblins have a 30
well, not
speed.
the goblin.
I'm the slowest.
Okay. So, do you take the lead or do you?
But goblins or halflings are slow too. They're also 20.
So do you take the lead? The goblin is not taking the lead.
I'll take the lead.
Well,
okay. Well, I catch up to you. I catch up to you, and I guess I run beside you.
Okay, so you move as a small little group. You make your way, like you said, about an hour, and you find basically it's a small little swamp that you see a little hovel on the edge of, where you believe this frogling lived, and you can hear whispering coming from inside, but you believe that this is the place.
I'll knock my arrow.
I pull my dagger.
Keep the shadows.
What was that?
You said there's whispering coming from inside?
There's whispering coming from inside the hovel.
I'm going to detect evil.
I'm going to do a perception to see if I can hear what the whispering is.
I'm going to use detect evil. Oh, I have to do it on a single individual. Never mind. I will wait till I can see it.
So I draw my dagger, and I'm going to use my stealth to see if I can get closer to the hovel to make out what they're saying.
Okay. They are speaking a language that you do not understand.
Okay.
They are trying to whisper.
I'm staying back because I can see that he's stealthing, so I don't want to interrupt his sneakiness.
Okay. Do you try to peer in?
I'm going to peek as close as I can to the corner. Hopefully they can't see me. What would I use for that? Stealth?
Yep.
27.
Okay. You peek in, and you can see what looks like a frog and a couple polywogs kind of huddled in a corner. They are trying their best to stay out of the light of their candle, which they didn't bother to blow out.
Frogs are adorable, not smart.
I'll mention to them that it's a frog and a couple polywogs.
Okay, I'll ask them where the things were.
That's clearly not what we're looking for.
Yeah, but I'll ask them if where they were more specifically. Presumably that's his family who saw them.
Probably.
Okay, keep his eye out for me, and I'll go into the house. And as soon as I walk in, I put my bow back around me, and I walk in like this, and I'll speak Aquan.
But they are very much trying to hide from you, and doing a terrible job.
Friends. I'm speaking in Aquan.
Get down.
And I go down onto the floor. Where are they?
They were on the side of the edge of the swamp.
Okay, and I'll look in the direction they pointed. Okay, I'm gonna go see if they're gone. Keep hiding, and then I'll see that they've not blown out their candle, and I go.
The polywogs will start to make audible, discomforted noises.
Good job, you blew out their comfort.
I
have a 27 for perception to listen to the woods and the forest and the swamps around me.
I will.
The thing you notice is that it is quiet, and swamps aren't normally quiet. Normally there's crickets, that sort of thing. Yeah, but it's quiet. The only noise you're hearing are them in the hovel, with the audible discomfort, and the one pollywog the one frogling trying to calm them down.
I'll take off my holy symbol. And it is a symbol of Inshallah.
Okay.
She is the goddess of coastal waters, fish folk, flying creatures. I feel like this is comforting to them.
Okay.
Iyla Mancha, sorry. I looked up how to pronounce this, because it's a wild spelling. So I took off my holy symbol of Iyla Mancha. And I'll reach it out to the hand of one of the pollywogs, and I'll put it in her hand.
She'll take it, and she'll hold it, and
It's
she'll...
okay. Iyla Mancha will watch us. I'll go see if I can find
They nod, and
then
their discomfort noises kind of dwindle.
Okay. I figured that we might share a god, so...
No, I rolled a 20 on my perception with my bonus. Like, do I hear anything specific?
It's very quiet. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing you
and
hear
without
is
saying
kind
anything,
of
I'll point in the direction they said.
The passive sound that a frog makes when it's breathing, which is kind of just like a dull croaking noise.
I'll point in the direction they indicated as soon as I exit their hovel.
The goblin will pull his drum out, or to the front, and he'll just slowly start tapping it. And you'll see sparks start to build.
Oh.
I'm going to separate myself from the goblin just a little bit. Like a good 10, 15, maybe 20 feet away from him. If there's a tree that I can crouch by and be a little bit more stealthy, then I'm gonna try to stealth.
I'm back behind the hovel.
Okay. I will start looking and maybe moving towards the direction they indicated.
Okay. You start to see little wisps start to appear.
Is this unusual here?
It's they're not the most uncommon things, but they seem to be here for a reason. They kind of just appear at the sound, and they're pulsing every time the drum beats. And you see them start to scatter. They're kind of coming from around the goblin's area, and are spreading out.
Okay, I'll keep moving towards, and I'm trying to watch for... Do I know what the things outside look like what I'm looking for? Or is it just like a vague boogeyman from outside?
I'll get you to roll a lore history.
Okay. Why couldn't it have been nature?
Because these things aren't natural.
Because I'm dumb. Alright. 11.
11. No.
I'm gonna look for something.
They have been described in many, many ways, but mostly as abstract horrors.
Cool. I'll look for some abstract horrors.
Okay.
You know, Picasso paintings. Maybe something in Cubism.
Monet.
Yeah, maybe some Monet.
I will get anyone who is trying to search for them to roll a tracking. Is there some form of tracking?
Survival.
The survival, I believe.
Survival. Let's do.
I'll roll it because I'm looking, but boy, am I bad at it.
What was that?
19.
Okay.
18 here.
Okay.
13, but I have a -1 in wisdom, so 12.
Okay. The two of you.
Not me.
Yes, not you. We'll see that kind of right next to the wall, almost almost basically right against it, the grass has started to wither, and it's turned almost like a kind of a murky brown, kind of greenish. It's looks very unhealthy.
But boy, if we see these things and they're from another plane, will I know? Because my god is a god from another plane, so I had to know about planes to do my stuff.
Okay. So with the survival check, do we see any tracks coming to or fro? Anything that like walked along the area that's not a frog track?
So it's not so much a footprint, but you can definitely see more patches of these, kind of going along the wall.
Now this is the wall to their house?
No, this is the wall.
Oh, the wall.
This is wall 10.
Gotcha. Okay.
And their swamp kind of goes right against it.
Got it. Okay.
About how far away from me do I start seeing these splotches?
Basically, they're right against the wall, and they're in about 4-foot increments.
And how far from the wall was the hovel?
The hovel's maybe 50 feet.
50 feet. Can I see the dwarf from where I am at the back of the hovel?
I'm stealthing, so you have
probably. I'll get you to roll a perception.
Yeah, I'm actively trying to move quietly amongst the trees,
but you're going to be taking a negative because it's dark, and he's actually trying to be unseen.
Okay, well, I've got a 16 plus 9, so I've got a 25.
I'm at a 23 stealth.
Okay, so you don't see him.
Do I have an idea what direction he was in?
You do have an idea.
I'm going to start slowly drifting over towards where I last saw him.
Okay.
Do I find him?
If he wants to be found, you'll find him, but you are kind of going in the same direction, so if he saw some waits for you.
Okay.
If I see him like somewhere behind me floundering a little bit, I'll reach out and put my hand on his shoulder to let him know I'm there.
Okay. He will let you know he's there, and then you see him. He is tracking as well.
How far can you throw something?
How far? What am I throwing?
Well, I was thinking, since we can't see very much, I'm going to take one of my torches and I'll get you to throw it up against the wall, see if we can see what's up there.
So these dead portions of ground, are they leading away from the wall, like footsteps?
They're going along the wall.
Okay. I can throw it as far as you need me to.
I pull a torch out of my pack, take my flint, light it, hand it to him.
Okay. Zephy, you can see a torch being lit in the distance. Like I said, it's sparse wood, so suddenly you see a torch light up.
There they are! I found the bad guys! They're lighting torches! I'll sneak that way! I'll get them!
So it's my strength mod?
Yep, give me a throw attack.
Oh my god. 24.
All right. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to throw it as far down the wall as you can, up the wall?
Well, he asked me to throw it up the wall.
Okay.
So.
Well, I want you to throw it
through
the wall because we're away from the wall. Because
if you're tracking, you're against the wall.
Right.
It's walking. It's walking along
the
wall.
So I'll do a long arc along the wall.
Okay.
So a Hail Mary pass, as it were, as far as I can along the wall.
Okay. I will get you all to roll a d20.
All of us?
Yep.
17.
Oh God, 11.
15.
So I'll give you guys kind of a hint on this one. Whenever I ask you to roll a d20, just randomly, most of the time it's just for sheer luck. I am also rolling a d20, and if you get close to what I roll, something happens. So a 2 might be the winning ticket. So, but it's my version of basically just doing a luck roll, like how fortunate
I
are
rolled
you
an
on
11.
this day to come across. And one of you, I rolled a 16, so one of you is pretty damn close.
15.
I rolled a 17. Yeah, we're both.
Oh, no, we're both one away.
Yep.
I guess Price is Right rules. Or no. 15,
Yep.
16.
It's if it's something specific to one person, then yeah, this might matter. But this is kind of a search. So you throw.
You can have it. You can have it.
So you throw your torch, and it passes over something. A kind of an obscured figure, four-legged, long neck, passes over top of it. You see it briefly as the torch goes swirling past it. And then when it lands on the other side, briefly before it goes out, you see the silhouette of what looks like the most misshapen deer you've ever seen.
So we've seen two objects then? Two things?
No, it's the same thing. It looks it's like a stretched, messed up deer.
Well, that ain't natural.
That doesn't seem right.
I'm not familiar with Pathfinder creatures, so I'm not sure what this thing might be. Do any of us have an idea of what it is?
You can
Like,
roll
out of character?
lore nature, or
I don't have.
I have lore nature. Me.
No, I don't have lore nature.
Doesn't matter what I have. I rolled like a poop.
okay.
Hold on, 7 plus. I need a calculator on account of my dumb.
What's the numbers?
15.
15.
Total.
Okay. So for the brief glimpse that you get of it, by all accounts, it at least was a deer.
Mm-mm.
It was a deer.
It basically hunches up, tries to make itself big, kind of like a cat would, and gives you an audible honk. Roll initiative, everybody.
Uh-oh.
14.
Initiative is
15 for me, please.
13.
There's no modifiers to initiative, is there?
Yeah, dexterity.
Oh, it is, yeah, +6. Okay, so I'm 20 then. Sorry, I couldn't think about that for a minute. I was looking at it. There was nothing for initiative, but there it is there. So I've got a 20.
Okay. And what was yours again, Zefi?
13.
13? All right. So the halfling goes first.
That tracks. Oh, sorry guys. My music ran out. I put on some battle tunes, you know.
Actually,
all I have is Dragon Age.
Before you go, because the other goblins here, you hear a drum beat, and it's really catchy. So you're getting a +2 to everything.
Oh, cool.
Man, I love these tunes. Sounds like Dragon Age that I just put on from my iTunes. Tal,
Okay,
you and I will have to. You and I will have to discuss at some point with what thematically the music you would want playing.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have all I've got is my dagger with me right now. Or no, actually no, I do have my rapier. So I'm gonna draw my rapier and move over to the wall and try to stay as close to the wall as I can and slowly creep forward. Still keeping my distance from the deer.
Okay, are you gonna try and stealth?
Yes.
Okay, I will let you roll it.
My stealth is a 23.
Okay. Fitting, but yeah.
Well, I've closed about half the distance from where I was.
Okay. Dwarf, you're next. I'm gonna need all your character names eventually.
Sarah.
To be fair, we haven't introduced each other to each other yet, so.
Marcelo.
Marcelo. Marcelo the Hammer.
Marcelo the Hammer. Let me just get my notes open.
And what's your character's name, Zeph?
Eyre.
Spell?
Eyre.
Eyre. But not the windy kind.
Actually, it means riverbank.
How do you spell it again?
Eyre. But I did specifically pick it because it means riverbank, but sounds like the windy kind, and my god is the god of water and air. Cool. So I thought it was fun.
So
and what's the halfling's name? What's the halfling's name? Look at here. Sorry.
Stariff. Stariff.
I gotta stretch my legs. Sorry, baby. Oh, sorry, Luke. To make my legs.
Alright, perfect. I gotta do his names. Okay.
So how far away is this creature?
So what's your strength mod?
Right now, 5.
5? Okay, so we'll say you're able to toss your thing about 50 feet, is about 25 feet away.
Okay. We'll have a movement of 20 feet, so I'll move up and engage it.
Okay.
Does it have like a large rack of horns and everything?
It looks, when you get closer, since you can see fairly well, it looked like it did, and now it just has like the singular like initial horn, nothing coming off of it. They're drooping, they're hanging, they look rotten. And for bone, that's weird. But it looks like it's gonna try and headbutt you.
So with my action, I'm going to try to grapple its horns. Like if it's got like one singular horn, I'm gonna run up and just grab the horn.
Well, it's got the one singular horn that all the other buds would be off on each side.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to grab it by the horns and like hold it.
Okay.
That is a 14 plus my CMB, which is 23.
Okay. I believe it's an opposed strength check.
It's against. So to grapple would be against its CMD.
Okay.
Combat maneuver defense. I have to overcome its CMD.
Okay.
Which is its strength, its dex, and its base attack bonus.
Okay, so you've done that. You've succeeded in grappling its horns.
So for it to break its hold from me, it's got to strength check against me.
Okay. The interesting thing is when you grab its horns, when you initiate the force to hold, you start seeing cinders popping out of your between your fingers and the top of your hands against the horns. You are being aided by a type of fire magic.
Okay. Well, As long as I have it grappled, it loses its dex bonus. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing. I'm just basically, I'm running up and I've got it by the horns and I'm just like holding it there for everybody else to do something against it.
Okay.
I'm like the first line of defense.
So you feel it kind of surge. It is trying to shake you loose. But you feel it is the weirdest sensation because it's bone you're holding on to, but when it surges to try and pull, you can feel its muscles almost pulling. You can feel like it. You can feel it's got like a full body Charlie horse, trying to escape your grasp and toss you.
You rolled a 1, didn't you?
Rolled a 1.
It's just got a full body Charlie horse trying to break free.
Yeah.
Son of a.
The top of the initiative, you can hear from behind you a few loud bang, bang, bang. The drumming gets louder for a moment.
Did my turn get skipped intentionally?
Sorry. No, it's your turn. Sorry, you're before it.
Okay.
So before it has its Charlie horse, but after it loses its dex bonus.
Okay. Or Charlie Deer, as he calls it.
Charlie bucked.
Charlie bucked. So I guess I'll shoot it.
Okay.
Now, I have precise shot from my Pathfinder, this whole thing's Pathfinder, from my Paladin archetype.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take the -4 penalty to it being engaged.
Okay.
With something I don't want to shoot.
Okay.
So I just will add my fab.
And the darkness is going to be canceled out by your inspiration. So you're rolling flat.
Okay. And my base attack bonus is 3, so 15. I'm doing this correctly.
So when you pull back and you're aiming, you can see cinders appear down the length of the arrow shaft.
And the +2, yeah. 15, 16.
And you release, and when it hits the deer, it kind of, you can see kind of the like when you throw a rock into a fire, it kind of goes with cinders, and your arrow strikes into the deer. Then it pulls a full body Charlie horse, and then top of initiative, you hear some loud bangs in a specific rhythm, and you can see almost like a when it's really dry, and you move one of those type of blankets, and you can see like the rippling, almost electrical. Well, it's the same thing but with fire, and it kind of goes down from its head to its tail, and you can see it. You can feel it flinch from basically a fire going down its body.
Okay. Is this something I need to let go of, or?
No, it doesn't seem to be harming you.
Okay.
Stariff, your turn.
I've got my rapier. I think I was, according to what my movement was, I think I have 20 as well.
Yeah, yours is 20.
Yeah, so I'm going to move in with my rapier. He's holding it by the head, so I'm going to make a slash for its throat from the side, so that I avoid him. I don't want to accidentally hit him.
So a critical roll, such as a throat slash or decapitation attempt, I'm going to have you roll 2d6, or sorry, 2 d20s.
Yes.
And you're going to choose whichever one is furthest from 10.
Okay, well, I rolled a 14 and an 18, so I'll take the 18. Now I have a +8 with my rapier. So that's a 26.
Okay, so your attack is true. So roll your damage.
Just to give you a heads up, 18 is within critical range of a rapier.
Oh, it is too.
Yes.
So you have,
18, 19,
so you roll
20,
again to.
Right, I've got the extra plate.
So is Pathfinder the one where you roll again to confirm crits?
Technically, yes.
It's critical. It's critical threat, and then okay, that's what I was pretty sure.
You're just
Screw
doing
that.
straight up critical.
You rolled it. Let's just do it. It's way more exciting that way, rather than like
I got a 7.
the natural 20 and then the follow-up natural 1. Like
I've got a
the
7.
natural one. You got to roll whatever the crit dice is. So if it says ×2 or ×3 when it says crit.
Okay, it is the rapier.
Oh, there it is.
Where's my dagger? Rapier.
I did that rule for a while, and it really took the steam out of a nice natural 20.
2.
So ×2. So you roll twice the damage.
So I rolled a 7 and a 4. So 11 points of damage.
Do you okay? So on your character sheet where it says your damage, you roll a D8.
Oh, actually, no. It's supposed to be a D4 plus 1.
Okay.
So
you roll 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. So I've got a 4 and a 3.
So you did 9 points total.
4 to 3. Yeah, but it's plus 2, so
7.
it's 9 damage.
Sorry, I don't mean to step on any toes.
No,
It's a long time.
I didn't even notice that it wasn't a D8.
Yeah, D8 is for a full-size rapier. You're a small creature.
Yeah. So I rolled 9 points of damage.
Okay. You get your rapier under its neck. You pull it across. Marcelo, you can feel muscles getting disconnected. You feel its pull just that much less. But the weird thing is that the look in its eye hasn't changed.
Okay. Should I give you some clarification?
Okay.
The rapier is a piercing weapon. He doesn't slash anything. He just stabs it. So it's a critical stab. It's a critical stab, but there's no slashing to a rapier.
Okay. Well,
it's piercing.
You plunge your blade through its throat, cutting major muscle along in the piercing way through the neck.
Okay.
When you pull it out, you see what should be the dark crimson red of blood is an oily, shimmering rainbowy substance.
Heck is this thing?
And a deer taking that kind of hit would die. This one seems to be weaker for it, but not dead. As we move on to Marcelo looking it straight in the listless eyes.
So just to clarify, I missed, I guess, right?
No, you hit.
So then why didn't I roll damage? I was like, how come he hit, but I didn't? We rolled the same thing. I just assumed I missed because you didn't.
You had like a 15, right?
Yeah. Roll damage.
Okay. I'll roll damage.
I mean, you definitely described the arrow going into the creature.
That's what I was like, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't burn it.
For some
I thought
reason
maybe it had natural armor and it didn't.
No, for some
go
reason
through
I
it.
took the 15 as damage.
Oh, that would be pretty good damage.
That'd be really good damage, especially from a bow.
At level 4.
It's not great for the other game that I'm playing with bows.
Yeah, but we're not playing your other game with bows.
I
All
know.
right.
I'll figure this out. I will figure this out.
D8. What the fuck?
Bow is D6.
So, well, it's a composite.
So it's based on your strength.
Well, I have a strength minimum modifier, but it still attacks with my dex. Is what it says.
Yes, it attacks with your dex, but your strength modifier is how much damage it does.
No, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were... Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. So it's +1. 6, 7. I guess just. Oh, and my strength. 8. So 8.
Okay.
If I did that correctly.
Okay, so as I described previously, your arrow sinks in and you can see a spray of cinders. I will get this down packed. Episode 1 is not going to be it.
We're good.
Episode 1. It's all good. It's all good.
But, well, is he under 30 feet from me?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's actually 9 damage.
Okay.
Because point blank shot.
You feel like its head is being held up mostly by you holding it.
You feel like its head's gross.
There's not a whole lot of functioning muscle on the other side of this thing anymore.
Okay.
But it's your turn.
So what I'd like to do is basically I'm gonna hold on to it with my left hand, basically my offhand, and just uppercut it with my right hand, just as hard as I possibly can.
All right.
That is a 19 plus. I don't confirm. I have to confirm. I had to roll a nat 20 to so 19 plus 11 is a 30 to hit.
You hit.
And that is 13 points.
13 points. You hold it between your hands and you bring them together with this creature's head in the middle, and you hear audible snaps. The kind of listless look that it gives you fades. Its eyes turn white. And the rest of the body goes limp.
But is it dead?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I trust that yet.
Well, it's another. Can I use a move action to do a heal check to see if there's any kind of pulse or anything from it?
Sure.
That's a 10.
Okay. You look at where the puncture hole is through his throat, and you do kind of see it still weakly sputting.
Okay. That's all I can do. Still bleeding. Still pumping.
So it's now on the ground at his feet?
Yep. It is prone.
So I'm right there, so I'm going to now take my rapier and I'm going to drive it down where its heart should be in a normal deer.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if I can pierce its heart.
So is this considered a coup de grace, or?
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have to roll.
Oh, I don't have to roll?
No,
Okay.
It's not automatic. Yeah, if you're
I
doing a
rolled
coup
an
de
8
grace,
anyways, so plus my bonus. So.
Okay.
if you're doing a coup de grace, you don't have to roll. It's dead. It's going to take full damage.
Okay.
So there is a kind of a hissing sound as your blade pulls out, and the strangest thing is there is now light brown fur on the end of your rapier, or near like the halfway mark of your rapier.
What?
And when you look at it further, all the weird abnormalities of it are still there, but now it looks a lot more like a dead deer that was just stretched and pulled. And it actually does now appear to be red, trickling from his throat and the hole where you jabbed it through the heart.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm not going to put my sword or my rapier away. Is it moving up the blade?
Nope.
let me know when I can do something.
Yeah, I guess.
You guys have officially broken initiative with the coup de grace.
Okay, then I will run up to them as well. My bow's still drawn. Another arrow knocked, but I will run up to those guys.
I'm looking at my blade. Can I
Did
use
anybody get hurt?
anything to try and identify what's going on?
Your blade is red with blood and a little bit of fur.
So I'm gonna sidestep around the body and just like turn it over. So basically move it from the spot it is, turn it over one spot. If it was bleeding some type of corruption before, I want to see if it all like bled out of the creature, so now it's bleeding red, or if there's any like stain on the ground from what it was bleeding before, or it just goes back to normal.
I'll get you to roll perception.
All of us or just him?
Just him. He's the only one with night vision.
I have a light.
There was a torch there now, too, don't forget.
The torch is 25 feet past.
23.
And went out. 23?
23.
You roll it over, and for a brief moment, from under the creature, moving towards the wall at almost a blink of the eye speed, you see that kind of shimmering liquid. And then it's gone. And what you're left with is effectively a very misshapen deer corpse.
So let me ask you this. I don't I'd like to try to react. Like I have I think it's martial flexibility.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Basically, I want to try to do an attack of opportunity as it's moving through my square and attaching itself to the wall. So what I'm envisioning is something like Venom. You know how he's got that icky blackness that's moving.
Yeah.
Something like that attaches itself to the wall. So if I see it move up, I want to hit it. I've got cold iron hand wraps on. I don't know if it's going to do anything to it or not, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to try to hit it while it's in its natural form.
Sure, I'll get you to roll an attack.
14 plus 11, 25.
Okay. So you catch it just as it's getting to the wall. You slam your fist into the wall. Your wraps absorb, the impact against the wall to your fist. You land a good, solid hit. When you retract your fist, it has kind of an oily sheen to it.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Something left that deer's body. It was trying to go back towards the wall. Like an oily, icky blackness. I caught it against the wall and I've got some on my fist now.
Oh. That's... Oh. I'm gonna come and, look at it. My herbalist knowledge won't help me here. Will either nature or planes help me?
What are you trying? Are you trying to identify the liquid? The oily
Yeah, I guess
sheen?
so. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just roll a dumb then.
I got knowledge local and dungeoneering.
Yeah, I have nature, planes, and herbalism. That's a profession. But I can use my herbalism to identify potions instead of spellcraft. Is my special ability with that. So that doesn't. None of those help me. Yeah, I rolled like nothing.
You rolled what?
Like 9.
Okay.
Yeah, like nothing.
Anybody got a piece of cloth?
Yep, I got lots. I'll pull it and I'll like wipe your hands off. I'll pull one of the like cloths I have for my healer's kit, basically. I have my little.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll take the bandage and I'll try to wipe as much of it I can off to get like a sample, and then fold it in each other on itself so it's all together.
Okay. When you wipe it, it feels warm.
Okay. Does it seem to move at all, or does it seem to have like its own validity, I guess?
You can kind of. I'll use your last roll here for still examining it, but you can smell a vapor.
Okay.
Don't break that in.
I'll have you roll. Do you have any kind of alchemy or science or?
Me, I'm alchemy.
I don't.
Okay, I'll just get you to roll in intelligence.
But if I'm wrapping it up and I can smell it, that's quite a pungent to it. My intelligence is 2.
Okay. Okay.
Well, okay, but my herbalism is also described as alchemy.
Okay,
So does that?
I'll get you roll alchemy for what's going on here because he mentioned.
So herbalism is that?
Yep, because
fine?
you mentioned that's pungent.
30. Natural 20.
It's evaporating.
Don't breathe it in. And I will actually, like, cup it over your hands and move it away from your face. Like, I'm not trying to take it from you, clearly. I'm not trying to, like, confiscate it, but I'm, like, joinking it from your hands away from your face.
It's evaporating?
Well, my first concern was, I pull it away from your face. Don't breathe it in. Then I'll, like, it's evaporating. It's leaving. I don't know. It's
evaporate inside a jar. You got some kind of mason jar? Or
oh yeah, I've got, and I reach into my like side, my pouches, and from a bag that's too small to be so, I like pull out a handful of like alchemical bottles or whatever, and I dig through and find an empty one, and then I'll like stuff the cloth inside it. Did anybody get hurt? And I'll look to all 3 of them.
I'm good. I'm good.
You have a sample of corruption.
Neat.
It did.
Oh, I'll hand it back to him because it's his. I don't want to confiscate it, but.
You got a bag. I don't.
You have a sample
okay.
of corruption.
Okay, I'll take it back and put it in my pocket then. Sample.
Yeah, I don't have, like you can see, I don't have a lot of pouches on me. If I am carrying coin, you don't see where it would be. I don't really.
I have
a backpack or
yeah, I have like a bag, side bag, but you're probably suspicious of it when I just dug around through. Because the way I dug into it, it was holding more than it ought of.
I'm gonna take my rapier and I'm gonna drag and like wipe it across the ground, trying to wipe off whatever was on the blade.
You wipe off the blood and fur.
So the blade is now clean?
The blade is relatively clean. You'd have to actually take a rag to it and, but it's clean.
Okay. Where's the rest of them?
Yeah, they said they saw more than one.
Said he saw 3. He said there was 3 of them.
Yeah, but if this was some type of corruption, he could have seen 3 animals. So, I mean, we can't be necessarily looking for a beast more than an animal.
Understood.
But we should look around further.
Now with all the commotion, I know whatever else is around here knows we're here. I'm going to light another one of my torches, and I'm going to use that to be able to see by.
Okay.
Apparently I do have torches, so yes, you want me to borrow a torch, you can borrow a torch, but I don't need it.
I've got several.
I point to my floating rock thing that's hovering around me in circles with a light. With a light.
I'm going to head farther down the wall.
Okay.
I will go in a different direction, but I'm going to keep glancing around, making sure I keep everybody's at least within, like, shouting distance.
Okay.
I'm going to try and search for another corrupted-looking goober.
Okay, I'll get you all to roll survival.
My survival is...
19.
Survival is wisdom?
Yep.
Wisdom. Ooh.
I have dumb, though. 11.
I've got a 20.
My wisdom is -1. My intelligence is +2. I'm just naive.
I've got a 21.
Okay.
I've got a 24.
Okay.
As I'm searching, I get distracted by a frog. Ooh!
Squirrel!
Ooh, look at that!
I should
You-
give him time.
You guys continue to search for as long as you're willing to. And the two of you are quite convinced that there's just doesn't seem to be anything more to find.
You said the two of us. Which two?
Yeah, there's 3 of us. Be specific.
The ones that didn't roll in 11.
The ones that are dumb. Got it.
Got it. But I'm not so convinced.
No, you're fairly convinced that there's, like, as much as they said there's 3, and you found 1. You're just not finding any more trails of the dead gooey grass or any signs of any other animal walking through.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How close are the trees together? I mean, something can travel by trees, so is there, like, dead branches that I could be looking for as well?
That's a good call.
Okay, so you start scouring through the basically the sparse canopy. You see what looks like, or not what looks like. You see a bird, and it is sitting on its branch, and you can tell it's dead. It is sitting there, and it's dead.
Okay.
And it is basically right above where the fight happened.
Okay, so the deer's eyes, were they, like, blacked over? Because you said they turned white. So was there anything particular with the deer's eyes that I could make note of in the crow or the raven?
So where you'd originally see, like, the veins in its eyes and kind of a red,
Yeah.
it was that kind of shimmery, like, blackish gray,
Okay.
like that kind of rainbowy sheen all around where its iris is.
Am I seeing the same thing with the crow?
Uh,
Or is
as
it just like a stuffed animal perched on a...
it looks like a stuffed animal, but it is just very clearly a petrified dead bird. It's right above where the fight happened. It would have taken in all of the vapor, and it is there, and it is dead.
There. Would you come here,
Yes.
lass?
I'll come over.
I'm not really looking up in the tree at the moment. I'm looking at her approaching.
Okay.
Do yourself a favor. Draw an arrow and put one through that bird above us, because it is clearly dead, and it's hanging out in a tree.
Okay,
That's where
I'll
all the
shoot it.
vapors went.
So the
You want an attack roll?
friction. It is a unmoving target, so try not to critically fail.
Don't suck.
Broadside of barn. Got it.
16.
Okay.
Oh, plus my stuff. 19, 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? I think 20.
Okay. So
because it's certainly within point blank, so 20.
Yeah. So the primitive arrow hits it with kind of enough blunt force that after it passes through, the dead bird falls to the ground, and when it hits, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
I'll put a torch to it since you had a torch.
Like are you touching a torch to it, like lighting it on fire?
I'm gonna put the torch right to it.
It lights. It goes like whoosh, like it was.
Don't breathe it in.
Like a dried, dead corpse. It just lights.
So it's basically just a husk, and you just lit it on fire.
It was a husk, and you lit it on fire.
I actually reach into my side bag and I pull out a mask, one that you see healers wear specifically.
Okay.
So I like cover my face, tie it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes up in a puff of smoke, I'll step back so I'm not breathing it in. But
yep.
I don't think we've seen that.
I will say a prayer to my god, because she's the goddess, whatever things she is the harbor wing, so birds are her domain, birds and fish, so I'm sad about it. I'll pray.
While you were trying to have this spiritual connected moment, you briefly catch the essence of the wall. It is weak. It is struggling. It is past the time where it should have been renewed. It is failing.
Oh, gods. Then I will walk up to the wall and touch it. And I'm going to use my Pathfinder. I keep saying Pathfinder instead of Paladin. It's all Pathfinder me. No, I don't have anything that would.
For a brief moment there, I just thought you throttled a bottle of vodka. Wow,
my
hardcore.
divine grace.
Honest, it's just zero.
I know. I realized it afterwards, but like longer than it should have.
Okay, yeah, I guess I don't have anything with either my Paladin or my Oracle that specifically helps me, but I will, like, make a prayer and attempt to, like, read it further. And I take that in, and I'll turn back to the others. They've failed to renew the wall's magic in time.
So is that how this thing got through?
Physically, this wall is here. But as its divine protection, it may well be a wide fishing net.
Do you think it's something that the inner city's neglecting on purpose?
It protects them as well. We provide their fish, their crops, I can't for any reason, think that even if were they so selfish, they would decide they no longer wish to eat.
Do you want to sacrifice yourself?
Well,
He's straight up asking, like, so you want to sacrifice yourself? I can't see them wanting to either.
Somebody's been doing it in this time.
You hear heavy footsteps, kind of
knock an arrow.
slapping on the moss, coming towards you.
I'll knock an arrow and turn around.
Okay.
Can I see who it is?
It's a frogling, running as fast as he can towards the swamp.
Okay. Same frog.
I'll call out in Aquan.
The same one, yeah.
It's our drunk friend.
Okay, I'm going to assume that I don't see anything more along the wall, and I'm going to return to the group.
Okay.
What's happening?
Hold, friend. Careful your steps. There still could be danger around here. And I'll shout this in Aquan. I shout this in
You're
Aquan.
talking to the frog, sorry.
I mean, you might think I'm talking to you, but I'm speaking in weird gurgles, so you have no idea what the hell I'm on
I don't
about.
understand a thing you said. Yeah.
I have to get back to my family.
I'm going to and I'll turn to you. I need to escort him back to his hovel lest he attracts more things to us.
Okay.
So I will kind of run after him and attempt to catch up with him.
I look over at the dwarf and I ask him what happened.
Well, there was a bird, a crow of sorts that was up in the tree, and it was devoid of anything, so more of a husk than anything else. When she shot it down, I burned it. But clearly something has been breaching the wall, and she tells me that the divine magic that once shielded this wall has been fading, which allowed them to come over.
Well, I've heard them talk that it's been several years beyond when they're supposed to be renewing the spell that protects the wall.
It's iffy. Being such a long time between, they're pretty sure it's due, but they're not. Like the rumor is that they're pretty sure it's due, or that it was due, or that it's coming up. A lot of people are really unsure, so they're not outright saying like, "Hey,
it's just a rumor that I've heard.
Yeah,
it's just a rumor that I've heard.
So, I'm close to 50 years old.
Yep.
Do I have any idea how long it's been? I mean, is that like a wisdom check to see if I can remember?
Yep.
That is a 14.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, it has been around 10 years, maybe leaning on 11.
As best I can remember, especially with the evidence we've seen today, we're past due. Now, don't hold me to that because I'm not great with numbers, but I do have 10 digits on my fingers and 10 digits for toes. So I can count to 10.
I can count to 20.
I can count to 10 just fine. Well, there's one side or the other, but yes.
Okay. I guess I'll start making my way out. Like, she ran back to the hovel?
Yep.
I'm going to head that direction.
When you approach the frogling, he will stop running because you don't seem so distressed that he'd believe that his family is in active danger. And he'll stop and he'll go, They threw me out. It was disrespectful. They said I was mad. They called me crazy. They said I was seeing things. Said I was drunk. I haven't drank a drop in 30 years.
We took one down.
One what? You saw two? I'm not crazy. Please tell me you have proof.
Sort of. And I have my bottle with like a Kleenex stuffed in it.
Give us a look.
I'm not sure. I'll examine the substance later.
I hope it's enough. My family, are they okay?
Don't worry.
We left him with a goblin.
We left him. No, the goblin came with us.
Oh,
I left him with a necklace.
that's right. and no light. That's right. That's right.
But I will like go with him. To check on his family.
Okay. Oh no, the light's out. The pollywogs. They'll be distraught.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, friend. But I needed to hide them further. But I left a blessing of that guy I can't say the name of. I left a blessing of Iyla with them.
Do you happen to have a flint and steel?
I have one.
I don't.
Oh well, when I go in, I'll just
relight the candle.
when I go in, I'll use spark.
Okay. The pollywogs will make a audibly happy noise. And they will come out of their hiding place and rejoin with their father.
I'll mentally count that they're all there.
They are
That
all...
everybody. Okay. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
So, let me see if it's not really a bluff check more than anything else. But what I'd like to do is, when they're coming out, I want to like kind of get down to one knee, so I'm a little bit closer to their level, and just make sure they're okay. You know, as they come out, look at each one of them, check them over. More importantly, look at their eyes to see if any one of them are hiding any kind of corruption.
Okay. I'll get you to roll. Either a medicine or a perception.
Heal check would be
heal check.
21 or perception's a 26.
Okay. With the 21 in heal, you can tell that they are fine.
Okay.
There's nothing visibly odd about their kind of bulbous eyes.
Except the fact that they're pollywogs. Got it.
Yeah.
Nothing odd other than the thing that's, you know, odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll ask the goblin, which I didn't catch his name. I said, I'll say, did you,
No, it's not speed.
It's not
Oh,
speed. No. Did you happen to see anything else out there? I know we were looking. Did you see anything?
My wisps has reported a lot of hiding animals, but nothing beyond that for what we'd be looking for. The creature that we found seemed to have been the only one, despite the count of 3.
I'll turn to the frogling and
Okay.
basically go, how many fingers am I holding up?
3.
Okay. And now?
1.
Okay. You said you saw 3.
Yes. Yes, there were 3 of them. They were right there, and he points to basically where the swamp comes out onto the shore towards the wall.
Okay.
What did you see? We found a deer.
No, these were... How...
Shadows?
No.
Blobs.
But yes, but no.
Like
Okay.
oozes?
Had kind of an oily skin, but shape. Definitely shaped.
Alright. It seems these things can possess animals. But when they do not leave the animals unmarked.
There's a
For the safety of your...
portion of the animals.
Then there might still be two. Somewhere.
Well,
farm animals here? I don't know if he's got any, like...
We will keep looking. I will keep looking to the best of what I can see, but to keep an eye out for danger...
You can guess that there's probably a count of fish.
Okay.
In the swamp. Or turtles. There's probably something in the swamp due to the fact that there's kind of this tilty trough.
Got it. So, I mean, I'll go to where there's a rise in the swamp where he pointed out and see if I can... So if this thing isn't necessarily, like, a solid mass, I'll look for, like, flattened ground or something where, like, something amorphous would roll over it instead of not necessarily leave footprint, but more of, like, a general indentation of where it moved.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll get you to roll a perception.
Perception is a 11 plus 10 is 21.
Maybe it's just how the moon hits, but when you're looking at kind of the shore, you kind of notice that when the wall goes into a water portion, like in a lake or a swamp, it only goes so deep. And you can see that at the very, like, just down the bank, you can see a portion where the wall isn't touching the very bottom of the swamp.
It would appear it's incomplete. The wall doesn't touch the bottom of the swamp here.
Has something washed it away?
You can imagine ground erosion. She might know more than I.
I'll come over. I will dive into the swamp and swim to the bottom.
Okay.
I don't know if I was going to do that.
Sure enough, it looks like something has pushed its way underneath.
Like it's dug into the ground and, like, made a...
It kind of looks more like what you'd expect a large worm to do. Not so much a digging, but more of an expanding.
Yeah, but I guess my question is, has it pushed the ground, or has it pushed the wall? Like, there's a hole in the wall, or is the hole in the ground? Okay.
The ground.
Well,
Alright, well, I can hold my breath for...
Long time.
A while. So I spend a while... Hold on, let me double check it. But I spend a while, like, investigating as much as I can, using the light of my little beady friend.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
So where that's basically pushed away from the base of the wall, does it seem like anything came ashore in that area? With my perception?
You can tell that something has come up the riverbank, but once it comes out of the water, there doesn't seem to be anything more than that kind of dead grass. or like extra mucky moss.
Heading towards or away from the hovel?
It's where that trail started. It goes straight down the wall.
I mean, it could have been a deer that got unlucky drinking, and it happened to be here while this thing came through. But that doesn't equate for 3 of them.
I can hold my breath for 4 times my Constitution score, not my Constitution modifier. So I can hold my breath for 52 rounds, and a round is 6 seconds.
So almost 6 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I'd spend 6 minutes. Yeah, I spend 6 minutes searching around under the water.
So that seems to be the only place where they have managed to make their way up.
Do I see any of that black gooey goo in the dirt?
Where you see it is under and along the bottom of the stone of the wall.
Well, eventually I... Well, something definitely pushed out under the dirt. And there is...
Was it a big something or a small something?
Was it a big something or a small something?
How
big was the hole?
Human size-ish?
Humanoid? Big enough. And more of that black oil along the wall.
But underwater?
But it's not... It's just there. It's not dispersing into the water the way you would expect. Least way is not so much that it's visually so.
You didn't happen to go on the other side of the wall, did you?
I could try.
No.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't want you to.
I would really rather
standing in
not.
front of you. I don't want you to. Unless I was standing in front of you.
And I don't think you can hold your breath as long as I, so...
No, I think you can do it.
How about no?
I can hold my breath for some time, but not as long as you can. Regardless, I was just trying to see if the black went up the wall on the outside portion of it. But we don't have to investigate that.
Just to put into perspective, the wall is rather thick. It is somewhere up of 50, like basically 20 yards across.
Okay, so 50, 60 feet.
Yeah.
But there's a hole dug underneath it, so something actually took a lot of time to burrow its way here.
I have... If they could do this normally, they would have by now. This must be the fault of the failing magics.
That'd
I agree.
So, what do you suggest we do next? We can go to the city and explain to them what we found, but from what I've seen, each one of these reports like this get shuffled off as nonsense, so I don't think anyone's going to take us seriously.
There's got to be somebody who will listen to us.
I put on gloves, crack my fingers, and I make sure my mask is tight, and I'll head back to that corpse.
The deer corpse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a deer corpse.
And I will take a knife, not a combat knife, but a knife, a skinning knife.
Okay.
Mostly I have fish knives, but... and I start taking its head.
Okay.
It's weird head.
Okay. So the most distinct thing about its head is it's got a very broken jaw and palate from the uppercut. It is rather easy for you to remove it due to the fact that it's already been pierced through major muscle tissue and has then since strained itself to the point where its flesh is torn apart. But other than that, the prongs on the antlers are drooped. They are now back to solid bone, which is strange. But they still look like they've been melted or rotted.
So of what's left of the body, is it the most strange? Or is there anything else more strange?
Well, again, it's like neck is longer than it should be.
So then I'll cut as close as I can to the base of the neck so I can be like, show as much of its weird giraffe neck.
Okay. And the rest of it, again, it just looks like it's been stretched. So like its legs are a tad bit too long for its body. It seems like it has an audible tail where normally it only has like a little tuft.
An audible tail?
Or
what is its tail singing?
A noticeable tail.
Yeah.
An extended tail.
So, you move to start cutting it open. Why don't I just carry it back? Proof of the whole body will show more than just the head.
Because I just don't know if anyone should. It's much easier to hold a head with gloves on away from your body. I'm a bit nervous about you just slinging the whole thing over your shoulder and having it bleed down your back.
Hey, we could just tie a rope around it and drag it back.
We could do that.
The only portion of this bleeding is the neck.
And its general here area.
Well, yeah, I mean, where I broke its face, yeah.
Its face. Okay.
I dig my rope out of my backpack and toss it towards the dwarf. Here, just tie it up.
So I'll basically hog tie it, all four hooves together, hog tie it, and pull it behind me.
Okay.
Are you more comfortable with this? So glad. Yeah, I mean, if he gave me 50 feet of rope, which is standard, then, I'll use a few feet of it and then have it trailing behind us by like 20 feet. So it's not like right up on us.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else out here?
Do we experience anything on our way back to the city?
Nope. You make your way. Takes a little bit longer this time because you're dragging an animal, but not too much because the dwarf has a bit of beef to him.
So let me ask you before we actually get on our way, at the point we're going to start walking away, dragging this animal, do we hear any of the wildlife starting to come back since the corruption's left?
That's what I was going to ask too, actually.
Not until you've walked a little bit of a distance, maybe about 5 minutes.
Well, they're gonna stay quiet because we're there anyways, but they may still register the corruption with this deer. So okay, so it starts coming back after a while.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a good indicator that there was something wrong. So if the wildlife is starting to come back a little bit, then maybe we're clear for now. That was my thought.
Yeah.
I agree.
Couple hours back to town.
About an hour and a half. The goblin seemed to have left a little while ago. You guys didn't really notice, but eventually he just took his leave. He figured there was nothing around that was dangerous, so he went back to his. Yeah, he's there at the pub when you get back. The party has died down a bit. There's a few people that are passed out and haphazardly kind of stacked out of the way.
Oh, shit. Did I get my... Did the polywog give me my, whoop, well, bye.
Oh, that was weird.
Did the polywog give me my divine symbol back?
Did you ask for it back?
I meant to, but I think but someone else started talking and I totally forgot to ask for it. I'll have to make another one.
Okay.
Back sakes.
There is. Technology, our friend.
Now there's 2 of me on stream.
There is 2 of you on stream. Maybe when his camera comes back.
Yeah, it's because the way it shifted me around. Whew, okay.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Luckily you came back back where you were before, so I didn't have to readjust my camera of you. Yeah, there was 2 of me. There was a mirror me.
It was mirrored. It was facing the other way. Okay.
I didn't do it.
So there are a bunch of passed out drunks, kind of stacked haphazardly, off to the side. They're not like piled, but they're kind of just arranged. There are still some people that are there just chit-chatting. The ruckus party, the group with the orc, is nowhere to be seen. They left. There are still a few people kicking around, in various levels of intoxication, but they don't seem to be getting kicked out or whatever. They're content to just let them stay there. So you come back to around 40-odd people.
So is it morning yet, or?
It is going to be. The sun will be up and the sun will probably start to rise in about another hour.
Okay, I'd like to bring this directly to some type of authority. I don't know if there's an authority in the 10th ring area here, or they'll allow us to take it in further if they see there's some type of like a misshapen body or something. I don't know what they'll allow.
So something you know about the rings is that the authority is harder and harder to get the further out you go. Any kind of law enforcement probably isn't venturing into the 10th ring unless summoned for a good reason. The 9th, you might find 1 or 2 in the major populated areas, but it really takes till around the right around the 7th ring to have any kind of notable authority kicking around. There are people that have basically elected themselves as some form of authority in certain areas around the 10th ring, but they vary from basically crime bosses to these guys here, like high establishment owners.
Okay. How far do you think we should take this?
Oh.
Do you bring it into the pub?
No.
No? Okay.
There's got to be somebody in the, like, approximately what diameter would the 10th ring be? Several miles, I would assume.
Yeah.
So somewhere in this ring, there's got to be, I don't know if physician is the right word, but there's got to be somebody who deals with nature who we can take this to, that you might be able to convert, whether that Eyre might be able to put their heads together and decide what's going on with this thing.
Fortunately, I'm the most notable healer in this particular section. But we could just bring it back to my place and I can start looking over it.
Do you know of perhaps a druid circle or someone else? We need to bring
Do
this
I know?
to somebody of authority.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, all of our authority out here is self-appointed.
So
People come to me because...
How much does the inner circle listen to the self-appointed out here?
None.
So I guess I pull it further then.
We could bring someone to us, but pulling it farther will make a big commotion.
Being a notable problem in authority's side to what it is, you do know a guy. He is basically a regular elf. For that, there can be regular elves. Who lives in the 8th ring, but he is kind of he is an official, and he's the one that comes out to deal most of the time when something big has happened. So whenever you have broken somebody's nose and that for a job or for a good reason, this guy comes out and gives you a bit of a scolding every once in a while, but he's never so inclined to try to bring you in, so to say. So you know him, if not like kind of an unfortunate acquaintance.
Do we have a way of summoning him? Or would one of us have to go get him?
Well, I can leave this outside for a moment. I'll talk to Speed, the bar owner, to see if Speed can send a runner or someone to go get him. Or some way to summon him. Otherwise, I walk up and punch somebody in the face hard enough to break their nose and he comes anyways.
Yeah, so there has been a few times where Speed has had to regain some value from property damage. Rather it be because the person picked a fight with the wrong guy and got a club through him and the table, or various degrees of just vandalism. So he does know how to get a hold of this guy, and he will send for him. It'll be a while. It's still a few day trip by horse. Maybe 2 days.
Okay.
Well, we can bring it to my place. I have a section that I do healing.
Let's do it.
Do you have a means to preserve this body?
I can do my best.
You got a salt that you can make a brine out of to preserve it.
I can use my herbalisms / alchemies.
And if she lives there, she should have a cold cellar dug out, so... Let's go.
I'll start pulling it to wherever she is.
Okay.
I live nearby because I live pretty near to the water. And when I get to and I live like in the like fisherman's district essentially, or area.
Yep. You're at one of the major fishing towns where you find a bunch of basically trophy fish, orc, and a few polywogs and lizard folk who make their living by fishing and selling. You can describe your house.
Well, it's a fisherman's house for sure. There's like outside there's all the like fish racks with like a bunch of drying fish. But there's also like a makeshift, like it's clearly been built recently, wing off of it with a flag above it that's been like nailed up in the symbol of the same symbol that I was wearing. And it looks like I might have drawn it. It's and yeah, that definitely looks newer and a bit more ramshackle. It's kind of a recent addition. You can bring it over to my infirmary. I'll just have to go tell Mama we're here. And I'll go to like the main home. Or like as I'll approach the stairs and I'm like, Mom! I'm home and I have guests and a weird deer!
That's
and
nice!
And a big orc comes out. Because you said it was orcs were one of the fishermen race, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a big orc comes out.
Big mama orc.
Yeah.
Oh, she's an orc?
My mama is an orc, yes.
Oh. Oh, you should have made her voice like Howard's mom on Big Bang Theory.
Well, he didn't know Mama was an orc.
I was tempted to do like the stereotypical loud Jewish mom, or like a very southern like water boy style.
Okay. Okay, so we're settled in here.
And with that, it is 10 to 11. So we will leave you guys here with your deer corpse and suspicions on the condition of the strength of the magic of the wall. I will give everybody 200 experience points for the start.
Wow, experience.
And we will tentative maybe next week. One of these weeks is going to be the L5R.
Someday Tal and I will be playing L5R, but really there's no way to predict that.
Yeah, most of the time it gets canceled the day of, which is
what happened.
Yeah, which is unfortunate but usual. So see you all, or not see you all, next week.
Good night.
Yes, sir.